gentleman named Ron Coury, and it's such a great book. And I just did the audio book version of it, and I've never done an audio book before. But his story is the story of the American dream. He's a family of immigrants, grew up in Brooklyn, really close-knit family. That was a very important part of his life, and that strong family structure. He went and joined the military, the Marines. He learned his lifelong motto, failure is not an option. Then he applied that to the rest of his life as a businessman in Las Vegas, and he takes you through
what gives you that idea?
stories
Yeah.
business in Las Vegas with shady people,
Flapjacks, pancake cabbage.
Yeah.
Well, I won't politicians, but a lot of shady politicians and people like that, and that he through hard work and determination, he made himself a very successful businessman.
So you know, if we see a bear, I may just get out and take a selfie.
I really enjoyed voicing the story, so
Huh.
hear the
Huh.
tones
Huh.
of my voice for several hours.
But first, you get out, throw your arm around him, and I'll take your picture.
Listen to this.
Yeah, I'll pass.
But Dylan, you will always be noted for that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Noah's a freaking idiot.
Unjust obstacles that may stand in the way of one's dreams. In a word, tenacity.
You'll never have another hug like that.
That's it. I mean, do you hear the silky smoothness of that? You can't teach it. You can't listen to that for 4 hours. Yeah, you were born with that gift. There you go.
I think you were the first guest that's ever come on our show to promote a book that they did not write.
Let her crew ahead. Slow down.
Yeah. Now
I have a whole different set of skills.
Yeah.
Seemed like that sound was up yesterday.
I think it was.
This would be a good book to grab, put in your car, let your whole family hear it. Is it appropriate for the family?
Right before the 4th of July? Yeah, it's very appropriate for the family. But I don't think that the kids would so much go, oh, Yahoo, this is great. Because it's a lot about...
It says traffic enforcement the next 4 miles.
Yeah.
Does that mean after that you can drive like hell?
DK, thank you. There's the president in Madrid. Let's listen.
Everyone, thank you. If you have a seat, please sit down. I think someone else walked in the room. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. I think we can all agree.
Bye-bye, Gatlinburg. Until next time.
Some folks have been covering me for a while, but a year and a half ago, when the first G7 meeting took place in England, I talked about the need for us to reconsider the makeup of NATO, how it functioned, and come up with a different strategy for NATO and how we work together. And in addition to that, we also talked about the G7 taking on additional responsibilities. Before the war started, I told Putin that if he invaded Ukraine, NATO would not only get stronger, but would get more united. And we would see democracies in the world stand up and oppose his aggression and defend the rules-based order. That's exactly what we're seeing today.
Okay, Biden was right on one thing.
What's that?
NATO got stronger.
Well, yeah, I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
You got that one right. Okay.
I'll give him that.
Oh no, we've lost Biden.
Oh no.
Mentioned China. The world has changed a great deal since then, and NATO is changing as well. At this summit, we rallied our alliances to meet both the direct threats of Russia poses to Europe and the systemic challenges that China poses to a rules-based world order. And we've invited 2 new members to join NATO. It was a historic act. Finland and Sweden, 2 countries with a long tradition of neutrality and choosing to join NATO. Some of the American press will remember when I got a phone call from the leader of Finland saying, could he come and see me? And he came the next day and said, will you support my country joining NATO? We got the telephone. He suggested we call the leader of Switzerland. My goodness, I'm getting really anxious here about expanding NATO. Sweden. And what happened was, we got on the phone and she asked if she could come the next day to want to talk about joining NATO. Allies across the board are stepping up, increasing defense spending, A majority of them are on track for the first time to exceed our 2% of GDP commitment that they make. They agree to spend 2% of the GDP on defense. Look, for example, Germany is committed to spending 2% going forward and announced a special fund for its military of more than $100 billion. Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and the Netherlands have announced they will also meet their 2% commitments. Poland, Romania, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania are doing more than 2.5%, some as high as 3%. Together, deploying more assets and capabilities to bolster our alliances across all domains: land, air, sea, cyber, and space. We've reaffirmed that our Article 5 commitment is sacred, and an attack on one is an attack on all, and we will defend every inch of NATO territory.
I'm sure the Estonians don't have a space program.
For our part, the United States is doing exactly what I said we would do.
Well, I mean, they're small.
Enhance our force posture in Europe. We'll station more ships in here in Spain. We're stationing more air defense in Italy and Germany. More F-35s in the United Kingdom. And to strengthen our eastern flank, new permanent headquarters for the Army 5th Corps in Poland. In addition, an additional
where people in Gatlinburg go on vacation.
That's a good question.
Rotational deployments in the Baltic
Of course, we both know that Gatlinburg has a high school.
Yeah, so does their pigeon forge.
Yeah, so there is people who live out here.
I know where these people go on vacation.
And to help Ukraine defend itself. The United States is rallying the
Oh.
world.
Mountain Pancake Cabin.
I bet there's people there eating breakfast.
Secretary Austin,
Just like we're about to do here in a minute.
We're going to eat breakfast.
Pledging new commitments. And this is a global effort to support Ukraine. Nearly 140,000 anti-tank systems, more than 600 tanks, nearly 500 artillery systems, more than 600,000 rounds of artillery ammunition, as well as advanced multiple launch rocket systems, anti-ship systems, and air defense systems. And again, the United States
I'm trying to think who's pitching for the Braves today.
Strider. They said it last night.
The next few days, we intend to announce
He pitched Sunday.
He
did?
Yeah, Max living.
No, he pitched Saturday.
This is Thursday. It's the 5th day.
Ian Anderson hasn't
Maybe
pitched.
that's it. And Strider's pitching Friday.
Yeah, Strider pitched Sunday. Freed pitched Saturday. So I think Anderson's up next.
Max live and be
As
free.
I indicated to Putin, this would be, his action would cause worldwide response. Bringing together Democratic allies and partners.